Hello, welcome back to the Union Chronicle. Tom Lister, your PEA president, coming to you on the new Surface Pro. So I can put graphics back in these little informational shows. Happy Monday. Another week of this new way. I've lost count of the number of weeks it's been, but we're getting ready to close it down for the year. Here's the information I have for you. First of all, regarding negotiations, last time I told you that the committee would be getting together last week. It did not. It was the first possible day for that committee to get back together is today, Monday, May 11th, and we'll have that meeting at 3:30. So if there's a breakthrough, I will get that information out to you. A lot of you have been sending emails, and I would like to encourage others to do the same. Emails about what is it that you need from PSD when we come back to school, okay? So I've heard from people who have concerns about age, about health conditions, about safety, about what is the plan for reopening schools and getting back to in-person learning. Please send me those stories. PEA has requested that we have a seat at the table with the committee that is designing this. We have been told no at the moment, so there is no teacher representation and no teacher voice on this committee as yet, and we're hoping to change that. And the way I've been working to change that is just to forward along every email that you send me with your permission to use your name. I'm happy to send them along anonymously if that would be better too for you. Also, big news, the TLCC survey results are out, and they're public. Everybody can get to them. You just go to this email address here and enter Pooter R1, our official name, and you can go down and you can see every building, the results that for buildings that had enough people participating to actually get the data up there. So some very interesting stuff. I haven't had a chance to dive into that yet, but I certainly will here soon. And finally, from CEA, big news, the local presidents and the CEA Board of Directors have been working hard to put together a platform for the schools our students deserve post-COVID. And we're going to encourage you to read this. I'm going to send it to our school board and our district and ask them to please consider signing on to this platform. This is what this platform includes. First of all, it's calling for a more equitable tax system. You know, the Colorado constitutional requirement to fund public education has not been met. This creates what we call the BS factor, or the budget stabilization factor. Currently sits at $572 million, which means K-12 schools have already taken a 7% cut before anything else would be cut. So under Tabor, there is an emergency tax rule. It would have to be passed by 2/3 of the House and the Senate, and we are asking the legislature to consider just that. And an emergency tax bill that would mirror the Fair Tax Colorado Initiative 271 that we're working on. This would provide a tax cut for 95% of Coloradoans, and 5%, the top 5% of earners in Colorado would pay more of their fair share. The platform also calls for stopping any attempt to funnel resources away from communities with vouchers or other privatization schemes. The platform calls for the fact that we need serious emotional and physical supports, mental health supports for our students as we come back to school. And please don't cut any of these critical resources. The platform calls for the elimination of unfunded mandates, and this is where the rubber hits the road as far as I'm concerned. It's a request for stopping the Unified Improvement Plans for next year and put them on a 3-year turnaround. To cancel state assessments for the spring of 2020 and for the 21-22 school years. To not change the cut scores. You know, cut scores are simply just moving the goalposts on testing. It calls for not implementing changes to cut scores for the next school year. It calls calls for continued pause on the evaluation system for the 2020-2021 school year, and to conduct an audit to see if this whole thing is relevant. It calls for continue to waive the requirement for state testing because so much money out of the budget goes to pay the creators of our standardized tests. It calls for not implementing the new graduation requirements for the next 2 academic years. It calls for continuing to waive the requirements for the READ Act and the kindergarten readiness assessments for 2021 and the 21-22 school years. It calls for a continued delay in the implementation of new graduation guidelines for the next 2 school years. And for concurrent enrollment, it asks for a streamlining of the concurrent enrollment process to ensure that all students have equal access, that district costs are minimized, and that resources to offset costs are shared between districts, higher education, and the state. So I am including this document. It's 5 pages, but it is good reading, onto the email. And I'll keep you posted as far as if our school board decides to sign on with this. I should also point out that it's not just CEA, but CASE, the Colorado Association for School Executives, and CASB, the Colorado Association of School Boards, has also been asked to participate in this rollout. So stay tuned for news about that. I think that's all I have for you. We'll talk to you soon.